Today in the studio, dude, I got a motherfucking artist, an actual artist. Not only a tattoo artist, but an actual artist. You do paintings. You make some badass stuff. I've seen your work. Been following you for a while. If you guys want to see this dude, go to @Savage Dax on Instagram. Pretty much all social media. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then daxterpiece.com is your website. Your art website.
Yes.
Daxterpiece. But he's also got tattoo shops. You're a badass tattoo artist. You do all the high level folks. You're one of the best tattoo artists, I'd say, in the Western Hemisphere, maybe even the United States. How about that? So if people want tattoos out there, if you guys like tattoos, this is your dude, Savage Dax. What's up?
Yo.
Dax McClellan is the real name. Goes by Savage Dax. And by the way, dude, how long you been doing tattoos?
Since I was 13.
What got you into them?
I used to do them when I was in a gang.
You were in a gang?
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. What kind of gang?
We could talk a little bit about it.
Well, where were you?
Utah.
There's gangs in Utah?
Yeah.
What kind of gang?
It was a Mexican gang.
Are you Mexican?
Nah. I was the white boy.
He's the white boy in the Mexican gang?
Yeah.
Just pull that microphone up just a smidge. There you go. Or just lean towards it so they hear you. We want that thunderous bass. But when you were 13, so how was your parenting, bro?
I don't got a dad on my birth certificate.
Really?
Mama raised me. Mm-hmm.
And obviously, you were able to run around on your own at a young age.
Yeah.
So was I.
Little badass.
But I grew up in Cottage Grove, Oregon. There was no gangs.
Okay.
And how old are you?
I am 31.
Yeah, so I'm damn near 20. I am 21 years older than you. So Utah, Salt Lake, where'd you grow up?
A little bit north, Ogden.
And there's gangs there.
Yeah.
I'll be damned. I didn't know that. I just thought it was all clean living up there. Mormons everywhere.
There's a lot of Mormons, I think there's pockets everywhere you go, all around the States, though.
So what made you join a gang? Just running with the wrong kids?
Pretty much. I think it was kind of exciting back in the day. Like, I don't know if it was the thrill of just doing dumb shit. But that's where it started.
And so you had to have some sort of talent. You can't just grab a gun and start tattooing, can you?
I mean, it's kind of how you start, but yeah, I was drawn before that.
Yeah. So what makes you, what got you into that? Are you left-handed or right-handed?
Right.
Isn't it crazy how left-handed people are very artistic? You ever notice that?
I've heard about that. Yeah.
Yeah. And my little girl, she's 6. She's left-handed. I'm wondering, like, she does, man. She draws freaking better than the 8-year-old.
Keep encouraging her.
Yeah. But dude, you've got successful tattoo shops. You have more than one, or how many you got?
I've got one tattoo studio that has a team in it. And then I have my place. It's an art studio and tattoo studio in Miami.
Okay. So you're like bi-coastal. Do you want to drop any big names that you've done?
As far as tattoos?
Yeah.
Tattoos, we'll talk about tattoos and art. I've tattooed Frank Kern. He's an entrepreneur.
Sure.
Tattooed Todd Brown, marketer. I've done art for Grant Cardone.
All the entrepreneur gangs.
Pretty much.
Why
Done
is
art
that?
for Tim Grover.
Oh, Tim Grover. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you into art?
Am I into art?
I'm sorry. Are you into entrepreneurship?
Absolutely.
Is that how you know these guys?
Mm-hmm.
So you've just reached out. Did you paint Grant's gorilla with that big gorilla he's got in his studio?
I didn't. It's cool though.
What'd you paint him?
I did $100 bill.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You remember that
That's
one?
badass. Yeah.
I put his face over Benjamin's.
Yeah, that's badass. He gets a lot of artwork sent to him. I had a few pieces sent to me. I'll show them to you after this episode. Oh, yeah. I love it when people just freaking send me art. The thing is I don't know how to repay them. Like I posted a couple times and I know that it's gotten a few people, some orders and whatnot, but dude, you can't, in my mind, you can't repay that shit properly, because a good original piece of art, bro, especially if someone's kick ass, dude, you can't put a value on that. Your paintings don't go cheap either, do they? No. Now, how do you price a painting?
That's a good question. And really, there's no way to really justify it based on value, like something where you get paid money to help a business make more money or something. It's solely just on perception. So what I've found is I like to have stories to my art because stories mean something, you know? And for example, like I have a Mike Tyson painting, ended up getting stolen from the Hard Rock. I was selling it for $10K in an art show in the Hard Rock back east, and it got stolen. It ended up getting retrieved, and only like I think 14, 15, 16% of stolen art actually gets retrieved. So now that I got it, it's kind of tore up. The dude pretty much had to destroy the edges of it to actually like get it into his car or whatever the hell he tried to do. But now I'm putting it in a big old glass case rather than trying to redo the painting or make it look perfect. I'm putting it in a glass case so that somebody that wants this and likes Mike Tyson will be able to tell that story. And I don't know how much it's going to go for right now, but that kind of stuff I think adds value to artwork.
You just make the shit up then?
What do you mean?
Pricing. How do you price it?
Yeah, I'd say so.
So like, because I saw a couple of your paintings, like Kobe.
Yeah.
And I was wondering, like, how do you determine what does that cost? When someone says, hey, how much is that? Like if I say, hey, paint me a rhino about the size of that window right there.
Yeah.
You say, 50 grand or, 10 grand. Like how do artists just make that shit up?
Yes. And I think, how I do it is I look, because I started as a tattoo artist, so I've built my momentum as a specialized tattoo artist really high to where it's like my paintings, I wouldn't even question. I'd rather keep them than sell them for a cheap price because it's like, if I take 30 days on this painting that's like 5-6 feet tall, there's no way in hell I'm selling this for a couple grand because I make $2,500 a day tattooing. So it's like, it wouldn't make sense to spend 30 days of my, life selling something for like $3 or $4 grand.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that kind of helps me, I guess, a starting point on what I charge.
So ultimately, if a painting takes you 10 days, you're like 25 G's.
I can't say that I'm there yet. I'd like to be, I've actually started selling. I've been painting all my life through tattooing because it kind of helped me develop my tattooing skills. But I've only actually sold paintings for the last year. Since COVID, I was like, man, I don't know if this thing's real, but if I can't interact with people like I do tattooing, how else can I use my art? So that's kind of where doing paintings and selling them started.
Are you killing it at the art world?
I would say I'm doing much better tattooing. I got so much more momentum in that. But painting, I'm not doing bad for the first year,
If someone's listening and they like artwork, they go to daxterpiece.com and see your work.
I'd say go to Instagram and hit me up through DM. I'd prefer, rather than somebody creep on websites and looking at stuff, just to come talk to me directly and have a conversation.
Nice. And would you commission, like do a commission piece?
Yeah.
Because earlier we were talking and I liked kind of where you said, I like to have people tell me a story. Like you don't want to just tattoo some shit off a wall.
Right.
Hey, I'll take the anchor on my chest.
Right.
Like, no. You gotta tell me a story. And then we make you a story out of your tattoo. Well, dude, that's the same shit with artwork. And it's funny that you say that destroyed thing because there's a guy, I bought several paintings from him back when I didn't know what I was doing really, but I told him I wanted to commission a piece. I told him a story. I always wanted to be a movie star, and so I was giving him some ideas, and so he ended up with this, and I just wanted a big original painting.
Yeah.
So he made this big ass piece, and it was kind of weird. Like I didn't totally like his style, but it was original to me. So it's like, cool, that's cool, right? So there was some hills, and it was the Hollywood Hills. There's the Hollywood sign. There's an Oscar. There was the Walk of Fame. He put some stars and just some crazy shit, but cool colors. But I rolled it up and I saved it and I never framed it. And, one time I unrolled it and there's 2 big slashes in the freaking painting.
Whoa.
So I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to get a hold of that dude anymore. I don't even know, how do you fix that shit? So all I did is I took a piece of canvas, put glitter on the canvas, glue and glitter, and then glued the canvas behind the tear. And so now it's torn. It almost looks like claw marks. And behind it is freaking glitter. So I just added it myself.
Genius.
And dude, it looks badass. It looks like it was meant to be that way.
And now it's got a story.
It's still not framed, but I'm waiting to build my, dream home. And I have a spot for it because it's big. I like big. But anyway, and then when we leave here, I'll show you in my office, I have a U.S. flag painting where I literally set it next to a jacuzzi and it freaking started to make the paint run. And it was the flag. So the name of the piece is not what I call it, but I call it faded glory or fading glory because, dude, it literally looks like the flag is starting to, erode and melt away because it was.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is everybody walks in, they're like, "Oh, I love that." I go, "Yeah, it's fading glory." They're like, "Dude, that's badass." And it's like I put it next to a jacuzzi and it basically ran. So when you're saying like, dude, the painting got dicked up a little bit, dude, that's cool. That is what makes it cool. I think it has more value that way.
Right.
But value's in the eyes of the beholder.
Exactly.
Now, if you're, in Miami, who's running the shop in Utah or the studio, I should say?
We got it pretty streamlined. I have one of my best friends from way back in the day. He's my manager.
So how many artists are there?
6.
And I saw you the other day saying you're looking for artists, good artists, not just any artist, top notch.
Good artists, good integrity, good attitude.
And we were talking earlier too about, a lot of times I walk into studios and a lot of these tattoo artists are like acting as if I'm bothering them.
Yeah.
They don't have good customer service skills. I talked to this other tattoo artist one time and he agreed with that. And then you agreed with that. Why do you think tattoo artists and studios across the land are that way, number one? And number two, how much money do you think that costs them?
Well, number one comes down to one limiting belief. And that's the limiting belief that my artwork speaks for itself. The artwork don't speak for itself. And if it does, it doesn't speak better than you could speak for it because it doesn't fucking talk, You should be able to sell your artwork. And, I mean, what I've realized and what I teach my artists is like, if you're having problems charging a certain price and people are walking out saying that's too expensive or that's too much, it's like, well, my question to them is like, well, what if they knew all the years and tasks and dedication that you put into this like you do? They'd probably pay your price, right? So maybe you should start creating content around that stuff, documenting your process. Rather than letting your work speak, start creating that kind of stuff so that people understand what really goes into this because we make shit look a lot easier and simpler than it actually is,
Yeah. Do you think like the ability to draw goes into it? Because nobody's freehanding that shit.
Some people are actually.
Just freehanding a tattoo?
I seen this motherfucking artist the other day. He's from another country, but he's freehanding portraits, and they're really good. I can't remember his name, but it was inspiring.
That's rare, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Most tattoos come from a stencil, or you draw it on with marker, which is still kind of a stencil. But yeah, artwork definitely plays a part in it.
So, because I would call it a business opportunity. You think, there's people out there wanting to get into some sort of business. If you're an artist, why can't you tattoo? But sometimes someone told me, just because you can draw it doesn't mean you're a good tattoo artist. Why is that?
Probably because the lack of structure and organization around learning tattooing as a trade. Because I look at tattooing not as an art. You can bring your art into it, but I look at it as a trade. it can be taught. Teaching art is going to be the harder thing to do. Trying to be able to like draw something from your head, that's the hard part, you know. Everybody has ideas in their head. They just don't know how to put them on paper.
Anywhere you would recommend people go to develop that?
It's a good question, because education to become a tattoo artist is usually through an apprenticeship. But with apprenticeships, there's no one right way. In fact, it's all different. And because most shop owners never take themselves out of the position of tattooing their own clients to work on their business and build it and put the infrastructure in it to where they can get their time back and do things like that, because they never do that, usually, I mean, a general rule is apprentices end up doing a lot of the quote-unquote bitch work at the shop rather than actually learning how to tattoo and do the art skills.
What makes it possible to have the shop? Like, in other words, if I'm an artist, why would I work at your shop? Why don't I just open my own shop?
Because you can't fill your books like I can consistently.
So you get the business.
Yeah, I can make somebody consistent business with art, with clients that value your services. If you're a specialized artist, one thing that I don't supply in my shop is like the well-rounded artist, the artist that try to do all styles. I like somebody who's like specialized. Doesn't mean you have to have one specialized style, but I want somebody that doesn't turn around and try to distract themselves with other styles when one style becomes difficult because they're challenging themselves to become good at it. You know, I think that's what a lot is going on, is rather than developing your portraits, people do them to a certain extent and they try to do other styles. And also the well-rounded thing comes from maybe not having enough clients in general, so they feel like they need to do all styles so that they can serve everybody. You know what I'm saying?
You turn down a lot of biz?
Absolutely. 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10 you'll turn down?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Well, probably need to find a way to get all of the type of people that are a good fit for me in a different way. But I think tattoos is such a general subject. Certain people, they just want something today. Certain people, they want something small. Certain people, you know, everybody has a different reason why they're getting a tattoo. And I just don't think that I'm a fit for every single type of tattoo.
So you're almost, sounds like a purist in a way.
A little bougie.
Yeah, that's not a bad thing. That's what most people are looking for. Like, you know, when they do these tattoo shows and then their business blows up. Why? Well, because everybody sees, oh shit, those dudes are good. You know, so now I want that dude. Like the other day I was watching this one called, I forget what it's called, like Cover Up or something like that.
Okay.
And, you know, the cover-ups look good. And I was thinking, man, I better figure out how to get a hold of that fool. Why? Well, just because his cover-ups were good. But there's cover-up specialists that are better than just a tattoo artist because they understand cover-ups. Are you a cover-up artist?
I do cover-ups.
What's your specialty?
My specialty is realism, whether it's black and gray or color. And if we take it deeper, it's, like I told you, just helping people tell their story through a tattoo. So it's not so much about, yo, here's what I want. I know exactly what I want. Put it on me. It's like, yo, tell me your story. I like to get to know who the fuck you are behind that face, behind just walking into a shop and not knowing who I am. I like to get to know you and find out, you know, how we can really create something that you're going to be proud of and never regret. Because I believe that what lies behind regrettable tattoos is either you got a shitty tattoo, like you had a cool meaning, but you went to the wrong artist, or you could even have a good tattoo, but the meaning, it just never was there. So you just got bored of the tattoo.
What about like bleeding and shit? One time I saw this girl, she had love and hate done on her wrists. And then the next thing you know, it was and it bled to where it didn't look like love and hate anymore. How does that happen?
Probably an artist going pretty deep.
But is that a bad artist?
I would have to see it, you know, to give my opinion, because it looked
like you ever put a felt tip pen on a napkin and it bleeds?
Was that? I don't know. I'd have to see it.
Like if you take a pen and you write the word love and it's a ballpoint pen, it'll just say love and it'll just stay that way. But imagine if you did it on a napkin with a felt tip pen where now the love went and bled.
Are you saying the ink bled under the skin?
The tattoo became basically a mess.
So basically, like, let's say a line was pulled and now it looks like almost like a spider under the skin, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a bad tattoo. That's a blowout.
Yeah, but is that a bad artist?
That's an artist either going too deep. Most of the time it's the artist going too deep, or the client has really sensitive skin, in which even if he has sensitive skin, it's your responsibility as an artist to understand that and fine-tune your machine to work with that.
What about numbing cream? Is that for pussies?
I've been back and forth on this subject. Numbing cream, first off, I mean, I was all for numbing cream because I like to get finished pieces. And I like to help my client. If they're coming in with big sessions. We're doing multiple days. So it's like, I had a client come in for his whole front. So I was like, all right, that's going to take about 6 days straight. So he came in, and day one is all right. But day two, when you start connecting stuff from yesterday and the day before to new stuff, and that needle reopens the skin, it is brutal. So numbing cream works well with getting stuff done, but at the same time, like, one thing I don't think people realize is you can overdose on numbing cream, and it's pretty similar to like a cocaine overdose. So you can die out that shit.
Numbing cream?
Yeah.
Damn. You know Miguel from Self Made?
Mm-mm.
I'll show you. He's got some serious work.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, like, his whole body's covered.
Hmm.
So let's go back to you were in a gang, bro.
Yeah.
So you're 13 years old in Ogden, Utah, single mom, running around, probably didn't have any money or much.
Definitely not.
And you got wrapped up in a Mexican gang. What kind of shit was you doing?
Well, at 15, I got locked up for possession of a sawed-off shotgun. And yeah, that's where I basically spent. I didn't never get a chance to go to prom or have girlfriends through high school much. Halfway through 10th grade, I went and I got locked up.
How long?
Then I'm facing, say what?
How long?
They put me down for, it was a year and a half, but that was pretty much me getting lucky because they were going to certify me. They were talking about certifying me at 15, almost 16 years old because of the severity of the charge. And what ended up happening is they said, all right, if you sign these docs to become a restricted person as an adult, so you can't have a gun as an adult, we'll certify you as a juvenile, or we'll charge you as a juvenile rather than an adult. So at 15 years old, who wants to go to prison? You know what I'm saying? That's kind of a scary thought to think about, especially when your dad did all his time in there, and that's not the route I wanted to go. So I did the year and a half, and yeah, that's kind of where that went.
So you're not allowed to have a gun?
No.
That sucks.
I mean, I've only had one circumstance where I wish I had one, but outside of that,
knock on wood. Because if shit hits the fan, you can have one.
That's true.
That's the good news.
Yeah.
Shit goes crazy. We start living like Red Dawn. The anarchy hits. Lawlessness everywhere.
The Wild West.
Wild West again. Pick up an AK, dog. Protect yourself. I hope it doesn't get that way, dude. There's a lot of nonsense going on. What do you think about all that?
Man, what the hell is going on?
Dude, it makes no sense, man. Matter of fact, if we talk too much about it, this episode will get suppressed. That's what's weird. Like social media, large social media platforms are censoring what people are saying. Now, again, to me, they call that misinformation. Okay, good. Let's say it is misinformation. Let's say you're full of shit. Well, isn't that what makes America great? You can say whatever the fuck you want, and I've got the choice to believe it or think you're a fucking whack job. Right. And I can say whatever I want, and you can believe it or think I'm a fucking whack job. So why is it big tech's right? I mean, again, listen, I'm as fair as they get, dude. I tell people all the time, dude, it's their fucking platform. You don't like it, get off their fucking platform.
Right.
Problem is what other platforms are there? Like, show me a platform that doesn't censor anybody. Well, someone says Telegram. I know, but Telegram's not as cool as Instagram. Mm-mm. Telegram's not as cool as Facebook. No. Freaking, you know, all these other ones. They will fucking censor your ass if you say anything that goes against what the mainstream media wants you to go with. Like if we said, don't get the VAX, don't get it. Don't get it. They'll censor your ass and maybe even deplatform you. How much business you get from social media? Almost all of it.
I'd say yes.
Yeah, me too. Well, again, it's like, well, I don't really market, but the business that I get is from social media. Mm. So like, dude, that's the power they've got. It's like, you're going to keep your mouth shut. And if you don't, we're just going to suspend your account. Now, how are you going to reach anybody?
Right.
Not on Telegram.
Yeah.
It's freaking bullshit, dude. And not only that, then it goes to the, let's call it county and city and state level, meaning I'm shutting down your tattoo parlor. I say parlor because I'm 50. Your tattoo studio. You know, I'm shutting it down, motherfucker, because you don't make motherfuckers wear a mask. So guess what? I'm yanking your business license. Now you can't do business in Miami or Utah. That's bullshit. Like, dude, let people decide. Like, right. if I'm a business owner, I don't care if someone wears a mask or doesn't wear a mask. You don't want to wear a mask, don't wear a mask. You want to wear a mask, put on a mask. Like, it should be my choice as a business owner. But the governor here in Nevada says, no, everybody's going to wear a mask. Everybody, even the children that go to school. And you know what I say to that? Who cares more about a child than their parent? Huh? In most cases.
Who cares more about a child
than the parent?
Than the parent, exactly.
Like, nobody cares about my children more than I do.
Right.
You out of your fucking mind? So the state's going to determine whether they wear masks and whether they get injected and whether they get all this. Why not let the parent decide? Anyway, I'm getting in a rant. The reason why is because, dude, you know, when I said it goes into anarchy, America's going to fucking shit, bro. Like, we're literally censoring people. And again, I'm not right wing or left wing. I'm you know, America and freedom wing.
Right.
Like, I believe in freedom. I believe you should say what the fuck you want to say. I don't care if I agree with it. I don't care if it's rude. I don't care if it offends people. That's your business. This is America. You're free to do that. And then other people are free to not listen to you.
Exactly.
But when it comes to no. These main tech and mainstream media decide what everyone hears, now we're fucked. And dude, I don't understand if Trump or, you know, the right wingers or whoever's, you know, conservatives, if they understand Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all these main platforms, where's the alternatives?
You know, I don't think there is one. But at the same time, you know, through all this, I really hope that, like, I mean, what goes up comes down, hot, cold. I feel like there's duality to everything in life. And what I hope to keep a optimistic perspective on the reality of it all is, like, I hope that, you know, with every negative reaction or whatever we're going through, there's a, you know, positive kind of impulse or reaction coming from it. So maybe certain people that got enough money put together their own platform because they're just sick and fed up of all the bullshit of the ones that are censoring people.
Yeah, and what they should do is, again, let people say what they want to say. It doesn't matter if you agree.
Freedom.
Yeah. Freedom. That's all I am. Freedom. People say, you're going to get the vax? You're not going to get the vax. Dude, first of all, none of your fucking business.
Exactly.
Second of all, who gives a shit? Like, I don't understand the push. Like, if you get the VAX, aren't you safe? What you worried about? And then if you don't get it, shit, you're risky. Well, what's the problem? They say it doesn't work anyway. Like, who? And by the way, who's telling the fucking truth?
Right.
I see doctors saying, don't do it. And then I see doctors saying, of course, do it. Who are we supposed to believe? Why can't they make the mainstream media back up their news? Meaning, if they get caught advertising or running a false story, prison or jail time. You know what people would do? Get out of the business or vet that shit to the death. Now, if there was no media, think about this. There was no media, no social media. Would you think there's a pandemic just based on you traveling around and looking around?
No way.
Nobody would. We wouldn't even know we're in one.
Exactly.
So we're in a pandemic where the whole world needs to get a VAX. Like now. Like, you can't go to a Raider game anymore without it. You can't go into restaurants in New York City without it. Like, it's major, bro. Over a pandemic that no one would even know existed without the media telling us it existed. Is that not nuts?
It's absolutely nuts.
And if you get it, guess what? More than likely, you're going to go home and wait it out. Now, people say, well, there's people that die from it. Of course there is. There's people that die from the flu. There's people that die from car crashes, but they're not taking away our driver's licenses.
Right.
There's more people that die from diabetes and heart disease. How come they're not taking away McDonald's and soda and fucking saccharin? How come they're not stopping that shit? How come they're telling everyone to go get a vaccine, whatever? I don't want to, again, I'm going to get us fucking suspended and what do you call it? Suppressed talking about this shit. But think about this, dude. Why don't they force mandatory exercise? Why aren't they saying, get off your fat ass, put down the fucking soda, and get on the floor and do some fucking push-ups? Like, get your heart rate elevated. Mandatory. Your kids, we ain't worried about masks that don't work anyway. Guess what? Let's get your kids running frickin' laps. Let's get their immune systems up. Let's get the right and proper nutrition in people's bodies so our immune systems take care of themselves. And what the fuck are they doing tweaking a fucking virus to affect humans in the first place?
No fucking clue. I mean, clearly there's some kind of hidden motive. Like, they're not here for our best interests.
Dude, that's what, and I don't know why I got off on that tangent. I got off on it because when I was telling you, you don't have a gun. Dude, we need guns. like, dude, who doesn't want a weapon?
I mean, I can tell you from somebody who can't have one, it'd be nice to have that feeling that I could protect myself at any given situation.
At any time. And by the way, if you can't, guess what? A gun wasn't going to help you. Like, I always have these people, because I know people on both. I know lefties and I know righties. And the righties are all, I'm stockpiling guns. I got 700 of them. Dude, you don't need 700 guns. You need one or two.
Right.
That's all you need. Because if you have 700 guns and I got one, I can get your 700.
That's a good point.
Somebody said, hey, dude, you got a freaking a go bag in some place way out in the middle of Montana picked out that you can go to if shit hits the fan? I said, no. They said, you better get out there and get yourself one, buy one quick. And I said, why? They said, because shit hits the fan, dude. You ain't gonna have nowhere to go. What are you talking about, dude? I'll go out to the fucking place in Montana. I don't need to own it. I just need to get there first. I just need to fucking take it. And see, that's what I mean by anarchy. When your fucking doors are getting kicked in from people that don't give a fuck because they think you got food. They don't give a fuck because the cops ain't coming. The fucking cops are gone too. You know, like, shit hit the fan. Well, then if that's the case, don't worry, dude. Just pick up a gun.
Right. Like, morals go out the door.
You'll be fine.
When you're in survival mode.
If it gets like that, bro, anybody in the world that can't have a gun, rules are out the window. Felons, they get their rights to carry arms removed. And by the way, that's, if you ask me, a scam too. violent offenders that used guns in the act of a crime, yeah, sure, take away their right. Someone didn't pay their taxes, someone, did some sort of freaking white collar crime, somebody, drank alcohol 3 times or whatever. In other words, it had nothing to do with guns. Now they lose their rights for a gun forever. How do they protect their family? What if someone can kick their door in? Like, kick my door in. I don't care. Why? Well, because I can protect myself. But if someone doesn't have a gun in the house and you kick their door in and there's 3 of you, what are they going to do, dude?
Right. You got to get real creative.
There ain't the wrong people kick your door in, bro. There ain't nothing you're going to do.
Right.
And not if you don't have a gun. Now, if you have a gun, there is the stuff you can do. But anyway, I don't know how we got on all this shit. You were in a gang, okay? You had a sawed-off shotgun. You were 15. You went to jail, and you said, and that was that. What? Then you got out and learned your lesson?
Not immediately. I ran the streets, sold dope, did some dumbass shit for a while learning how to tattoo in the house. I never had a formal apprenticeship. Actually, I tried right when I got out, before I did any dumb shit. I went to a tattoo shop. It was like the best one in arguably Utah. And it was the place where they did all my mother's and her friends' tattoos and people like that. So I remember actually eating burritos with the dude's kids when he was building the shop. So we were pretty close to that to the owners. And I went in there with all the drawings that I did in lockup, tried to make it as professional as possible because, I did some research on, like, how do you approach these guys for an apprenticeship? And I went in there with all my stuff, and he told me to give it up, that I'd never become a tattoo artist.
Why?
And
did your drawing suck?
Yeah. And I remember leaving after that, like, partly crushed, partly hurt, because I didn't think he would do that. But secondly, it's like, man, like, I just went through a whole bunch of bullshit for the last, like, 3 years, like, doing dumb shit to getting locked up, like, and I got out of that. So I don't really give a fuck what this dude thinks I can do. Like, I know what I can do. Watch me. Fast forward to about 2 years ago. I use Uber when I come to Utah, and the dude's brother just happened to be my Uber driver, and he found out who I was, and he kicked me out of the fucking car, like, in the middle of our ride because of I have no idea. Like, I don't put out the dude's name. I'm not trying to slander the dude. In fact, I got to thank him because he inspired me to just handle my shit by myself. But yeah, he's no longer the big dog in town.
Now it's you.
Now it's Savage.
See, he should have just freaking gave you a shot.
Right.
You never want to shit on somebody's dream. Were you younger?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I mean, you got somebody young coming up to you, dude. You don't want to shit on their dream. Promote them. I might not have hired you either because if your shit sucked, your shit sucked. But I never would have said give up. I would have said go get some practice, young man. Come back when you're a little bit better. Now you're turning that around and you're looking for artists. If there's an artist out there right now wanting and willing to freaking come work for the Savage, where do they go? Where do they reach out to you?
Hit my Instagram DM and we'll have a conversation.
What if you get hundreds of people?
Well, then maybe I need to start, interviewing for leadership skills and helping find some more leaders to open shops.
But I mean, let's weed some out. Like, what aren't you looking for?
Tattoo artists that smell like cigarettes and Cheetos.
If they smoke cigarettes, they're out.
That's totally a joke. Like, some of my artists smoke cigarettes. I got nothing against that, but
you want fucking professional high-end people.
Yeah, I want people that give a shit about how they look and how they show up to their clients. I believe a lot of artists just don't even consider that. They don't give a fuck.
Are there mobile artists?
I don't think legally. I don't think you can do mobile legally.
See, that's stupid too. Who gives a fuck where you do it?
Well, here's where it comes down to is, you know, any, like, pretty much most of the diseases or problems that can happen in a hospital can also happen in a tattoo, from infections to
Well, that can happen in a
staph.
house. That can happen anywhere.
Well, I mean, kind of, sort of, but, you know, mix in that most of the traveling tattoo artists aren't going to be professionals. They're going to be the guys that never really wanted to commit to a shop or weren't good enough to get in a shop. They want to travel a lot. Mix that in with lack of education and ignorance to tattooing and dirty environments, maybe, and then add on, you know, because you can give a good, clean tattoo. And by the way, most infections that happen don't happen from the artist. They happen from the way the client takes care or lack of the tattoo. So, one of the smartest things an artist can do is really take it upon themselves to clearly communicate how to take care of this tattoo. And in fact, shit, at our shop, we just have them, we take care of it for them. You know, we clean it, we put the bandage on, we tell them to come back the next day, clean it again, put the bandage on, take all the pictures and stuff. So what that does is it allows us to never have somebody come out of the shop saying, oh, I got a tattoo infection. I don't think there's ever been one. And then if there was one, we could at least have some grounds to look at all the variables, because there's so many variables even outside of the shop that could result in an infection. But like, shit, and there's an article out there in Texas. I mean, a lot of people don't take care of their tattoos because they don't think it's that important. But shit, there's an article about a dude in Texas got a tattoo and went swimming in the Gulf of Mexico, ended up dying because of the infection. So
from something in the water?
From something in the water getting into his skin.
There was a girl I read about the other day, dude. She had a cut on her finger or her knee or something, and the dog, her family dog, licked her, because, you know, dogs will lick you.
Yeah.
And she got infected and lost her freaking arm and leg and damn near died over it. Some crazy infection that was on a dog's tongue.
That's sad, but goddamn, look at what dogs lick. You know what I'm saying? They're licking everything. Yeah, why would you let them lick you?
Yeah, but like, how would you know, man?
That's a good question.
You don't let them lick you. They just lick you.
They don't lick me, man.
You've never been licked by a dog?
I have, until I teach them no. Don't fucking lick me.
You smack them?
I'll push them away a little bit.
Yeah,
a little snip on the nose.
Come to think of it, like, we have a Jack Russell mixed with a Beagle, my wife. That dog licks like a son of a bitch, and I did that. And she doesn't lick me. She licks everybody else, though, dude. But really? She does not lick me, because every time she licks me, I freaking say no and push her away. So, dude, if someone's out there listening to this and you guys have an interest in being a tattoo artist, or you are one, what's the advantage of working for you?
Well, first off, this opportunity isn't for people that want to become one. I don't have anything to offer somebody who doesn't already have skin in the game. I wish I did, but that's a hard battle, you know.
So this is for existing.
This is for tattoo artists.
Well, then the question remains.
Preferably older than me, because I like people that are older than me that have experienced how shitty most of the shops are in this industry, and not always the people in them, sometimes the people that own them, but the system in them, because there's a huge flaw in all tattoo shops, and I truly believe that's what inspired me to create mine. Like, I never just wanted a tattoo shop just to have a tattoo shop, but we do something really, really differently than nearly everybody in the industry. And actually, I was talking to a dude, he was friends with Robert Kiyosaki, a dude that sells a lot of businesses and acquires a lot of businesses, and he's like, dude, you basically got the system, you got the Apple store of tattoo shops, basically, as far as your systems involved. And I thought that was really cool to think about, because I didn't build it to become that. I just was sick and fed up of working for different shops and pinpointing why they did this and why they did that and questioning this. And eventually I was like, man, I've worked from the East Coast to Utah, all these different shops. Why don't I build one where, number one, I couldn't keep a job. My badass attitude, and I couldn't make sense out of working in all these places when there was just a better way I felt like that they could be doing it. And so at some point, I put my money where my mouth was and opened my own shop. And the goal of it was to create a place that, you know, solved all those issues that I had working through all those places.
Is that what you consider your claim to fame? Like, is that why you say you get a lot of traffic? How? All social media, or is it because of that?
I get a lot of traffic because I built the whole back end system. I built a tattoo shop as a real business, whereas most tattoo shops are really just a shack in the wall where they rent a lease and say, come to us. You know, we've got paid advertisements. They don't ever stop. You know, we got email marketing. We've got all the things that allow us to kind of educate people, give them the content they need to make an educated decision on, should we come to this shop or should we go somewhere else?
Where in Miami would someone go to get their work done? What's your shop called there?
It's called Savage Dax Tattoos and Paintings as far as the Google listing. I would say just hit me up on Instagram. We'll talk about it, see if we're a good fit. But I'm in the art district of Wynwood.
What about Utah? What's that called?
Savage Tattoo. It's in Ogden, Utah.
And tons of business up there?
Yeah, and if they're in Utah or want to make the trip, they just go to savagetattooshop.com. Basically, you know, what our system is like in a nutshell is we're the matchmaker or the eHarmony of tattoo shops. So, you know, you're going to fill out a form online. Rather than rushing you in today, we don't do today tattoos ever. It's like we don't even allow walk-ins. Like, you got to have an appointment to even step foot into our shop. Before that, you can check our stuff out online, but you got to fill out a form. We ask you questions about your tattoo with all the things, all the information we need to know so that my manager, I was telling you, Chris, can match you with the right artist that you can trust with your tattoo that specializes in the style and might even have some common interests with you.
Yeah.
That way it's like, you know, you're not coming in there. Like, because one of the biggest problems with getting a tattoo that I found of people that don't want tattoos, because those are some of my favorite people too to tattoo, is people that never had one. They don't got no weird fucked up trauma or limiting beliefs or, oh, you charge too much or you should do it this way. They don't have that Ink Master vibe, you know? Like, they've watched a bunch of Ink Master episodes. And I say that because most of those TV shows are fake as fuck. Like, they're not the real situation. And so when a bunch of millions of people see those and they start to say, oh, that's how it's done. Well, first off, there's not one right way. Every artist is different, you know. They use different tools. They have different methods. So coming into a tattoo shop and coming with the I know how this works usually just turns off all the good artists from wanting to work with you. You know, I like somebody who's straight up newborn where I can be like, look, here's the stuff to avoid. And matter of fact, rather than you trying to go pick your own artist, let's just take the pressure and guesswork out of you trying to figure out something you have no fucking clue on how to do. Because let's be honest, you got friends that got good tattoos, but maybe their artist doesn't do the style you want. Or maybe you go in there, he's not your vibe. Or then again, doesn't got the good reviews. Then again, you go to another shop, they got good reviews, good artwork, but they're just kind of a weird, sketchy vibe in there. Like, there's so much variables. If you've never had a tattoo or only a couple, chances are you don't know how to choose a good artist that you can trust. And for a tattoo you won't regret. I'm not talking about any wham bam tattoo, but for a tattoo you won't regret. It's kind of hard if you haven't been there. So what we do is take the guesswork and pressure out of choosing an artist and match you based on what you want.
That's a good idea. So if someone can't make it to you for whatever reason, or you say, yeah, pass, we're not a good fit, what are three things that someone should be looking out for when going to get a tattoo? Because maybe they run into someone that doesn't really give a much of shit like you do. What should they be looking like? If I walk into the shop, am I looking for dirt? Am I looking for, you know, what am I looking for? Give me three things to look out for and run if I see them.
Yeah. So before I answer that question, first off, like, if I can't match you with somebody, I know hundreds, if not thousands of tattoo artists. I can find you an artist that you can trust. It might even be in your local area. However, my big question to anybody that doesn't want to make the trip is, you know, how much do you value your body? What's more important? You get a tattoo that's, you know, a quick, convenient drive, or you get a tattoo that, you know, you're never gonna regret, because the guy down the street might make you look like an old high school desk. I'm not. You know, if I do your tattoo, can't guarantee I'll do your tattoo, but if I do your tattoo, I'm going to give you everything I fucking got. And my expectations and my level of like, get it done is higher than any client could have for me.
Yeah.
I've been doing this shit since I was 13, you know, and I've been doing art since I was playing with Legos. So this is all I know.
Yeah, but that's if someone's lucky enough to get you to do it. I'm talking about what if they can't? They'll still call you. Give me a recommendation. But if I'm walking out there trying to get a tattoo, what are the top 3 things to look for in a shop to run from?
Yeah. So, well, the first comes before even looking in a shop is, why do you want the tattoo? Is it just a cool vacation? Is it just a spur of the moment? Is it peer pressure? What does this tattoo symbolize and mean to you? Why do you want it? Know that, because that's the foundation. And then after that, I mean, yeah, you're going to look at all the things. You're going to look at the portfolios, their social media presence. What are they posting on social media, you know? Is it...
How do you know it's theirs, though? Like the shit you were showing me earlier, how do I know that's yours? You didn't stick your face in there.
That's true. I mean, you look, I've got my face in there. But this is where, you know, it's hard to choose, and there's no guarantee, because there's so many variables, from portfolios to the person to what you want to the style to I think those are the main ones, but and what you're willing to pay, I guess, too. So it's like, with all those variables involved, it's hard to do.
Well, usually I'm talking about, like, you walk in, you see, you know, dirty stations, or if you see, you know, wadded up, you know, Kleenex still sitting there, you see, you know, bottles with the lids off and the ink is still there, like, you know, anything like, oh shit, this place is a freaking infested mess. Are there such a thing? I'm sure there is.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's a lot of sketchy ass shops.
If they're smoking inside, or, you know, like what should someone just look out for?
Well, the thing is like, even if you look and you don't see those things, that doesn't necessarily mean you're in a good artist's hands.
I know, but I'm trying to leave them with a couple of bombs for tattoos, where it's like, dude, if you're going to get a tattoo, make sure, obviously it should mean something, but dude, I mean, in my opinion, dude, it means something, or they wouldn't be getting it. Now, I know a lot of dumbasses that go out there and just get one because they think they're cool, and they end up regretting it. Well, whatever. But at the end of the day, if someone were like, if I knew, I'd say, when you walk in, ask to see, you know, their license, ask to see, you know, how long they've been doing it, and tell them to, you know, sketch you out a freaking stop sign. And if they can't sketch, run, or something like that.
I honestly think the only people that would work with a client that comes in with those demands is somebody that's very desperate, because most artists aren't. They're not going to show all them things, even though they have.
They don't
those
even
things.
care. Most of them are like, F you.
Well, it's almost like, you know, I can't speak for all artists, but ultimately the tips are this: know what you want, at least the essence and the meaning, and secondary, look at styles of tattoos, because a lot of artists, they you speak to them not through words. They can't pull fucking ideas out of your head most of the time, and what you're imagining, they can't see that. They're not mind readers. But if you show them pictures, a lot of artists can work that way. Like I said, that's not usually how I do the things. I do it a little different. But, you know, artists communicate through visual images. So the more you can kind of show certain things, whether it's like, okay, I like the shading of this one, or I like the style of this one. There's certain artists, like, let's say you know what you want, or you know what the meaning is, and you like this certain style. Maybe it's a Japanese style, or it's the portrait style, or the 3D black and gray realism style. It's like, okay, if you know what style, now you start to look for artists. So I would say, rather than looking for local shops, start searching, whether it's Google or Instagram or whatever you search through. Search for black and gray realistic artists in X county or X state, but find somebody that specializes in the art. That's what I truly believe. That's, you know, like I said, I'm all for the specialist style rather than the well-rounded style. you're going to get a much better product that way.
Folks, you heard it. If you want some art, go to Daxter, like DAXTER, peace.com. He's got some badass artwork. At least go check it out. If you guys, just want to follow his ass at Savage Dax on Instagram and all social media. Dude, I appreciate you coming in. I hope you had nothing but the best of luck in the world. And like I said, hopefully I'll fill out your form and qualify and get some work done from you. Everybody out there, appreciate you listening to the podcast, making it in the top 100. Until next, share this out. Go rate it. And until next time, keep safe, keep it real.
Dropping bombs with the real Bradley. Subscribe